Hi there, Stephanie here. I want to talk about this term dyslexia screening. I think that this is a misnomer. We are now required in many states, more than half of the states, to do dyslexia screening under that name typically. And I really think that that's the wrong name to use for the process that we should be engaged in. You can't screen for dyslexia. And there is no test that can be used to identify dyslexia. There's no single test. And maybe most importantly, dyslexia is not something that's identified in the absence of instruction. So we have to remember those things and put the idea of screening in a proper context. What we probably should be mandating is the actions that follow the screening. So we know that what we're actually doing when we do dyslexia screening is screening for risk of reading difficulties. Dyslexia could be one of those difficulties that gets uncovered. And screening is a really, really important task. We should absolutely be engaging in early literacy screening. Most importantly, because we know that most reading problems can be prevented. And even if we don't prevent reading difficulties for students who have dyslexia or other reading disabilities, we can minimize the impact of those disabilities by identifying the difficulties early and acting on that information. So early intervention and prevention is very, very important. I would like to see more in those so-called dyslexia laws that has us acting on the screening data, specifically using the percentage of students who are at risk to guide and inform changes and improvements to classroom reading instruction in Tier 1. That's our best opportunity to make changes when we have students who are struggling, when we have more students who are at risk than students who are not at risk, for example. So the bottom line really is, and the takeaway should be, action following the screening. The reason why so many educational and parent advocates pushed for legislation around dyslexia screening is because, frankly, we're not doing a very good job of teaching reading. And they knew that if we identified struggling readers earlier, that we would have a better chance of changing outcomes for those students. So it's important that we're acting on the information. It's important that we're collecting the information as quickly as possible, that we are not frightening parents if their students don't do well on that initial early literacy screening, that we're taking time to communicate to parents what actions we're taking at school in response to any indicators, any red flags that we might be seeing, and that we're clearly describing the ways that parents can be engaged in supporting their students at home related to literacy if they are so inclined. So it's the actions that we take following the screening that I think we really should be emphasizing, and not so much thinking that what we're doing is screening for dyslexia. I'm interested in your thoughts on this topic. I hope that you will comment below this video and tell me what you think.